Ben Davies from SNTV. Question for Seb. So I think it was a few days ago, Bolt said, after athletics, you might think about becoming a Hollywood actor. Now you said obviously you've made the leap from the track into athletics governance. Was there part of you sort of tempted to have a word in his ear and say, look, don't go over to Hollywood, athletics still wants you, and encourage him to stay and potentially be involved in the governance of athletics in the IAAF in the future?
No, actually, quite the opposite. I would encourage him to try and become a Hollywood actor, and I certainly wouldn't think that that's impossible, because that would then help us, that would give us yet another string to our bow in order to allow him to connect in a completely different environment. So no, I hope he does try that.
Okay, yes, gentleman over here, you're right.
My name is Ayodele Odumade, African Sports Monthly. My question is to Lord Coe. We've had the World Athletics Championships going around the world. In 2 years' time, we'll go to Doha, and 2 years after that, it will go to Eugene. My question for you is, when are we going to have the World Athletics Championships in an African country? And I'm not talking South Africa.
I think actually South Africa is an important destination for athletics. But no, look, I've actually started, and I've had these conversations with the leadership of the CAA. And I have been on record as being committed to wanting to take more events and more championships to Africa. We've just come from Nairobi, from a spectacular under-18 championships, 160,000 people in the stadium over the last 3 sessions. And I was there with Olivier, our CEO. So we've had the World Cross Country Championships in Africa this year in Kampala. Diamond League has had its second iteration now in Morocco, in Rabat. So no, for a continent that has created such an extraordinary chapter in the history of our sport, and actually broadening away from the traditional endurance, middle distance, long distance, to having field eventers and sprinters coming through, it is of course an important destination, and I hope that we find a way of doing that. And South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, these are all, North Africa, Morocco, these all have a high potential.
Okay, one or two more questions, and we've got to go. So the gentleman at the back, and then the lady at the front.
Thank you. Hiroki Dora from Asahi Shimbun in Japan. Question to President Coe. I believe you guys are hosting men and women marathon at the same day. This is the first time. Could you please explain what the intentions are and your expectation too?
Well, I'll ask Olivier and then Ed to add to that. Sorry?
Okay.
No, okay, sorry.
I'll make the first comment.
That's what it says.
2 things. First of all, it's a practical issue. It's incredibly expensive and hugely disruptive in a city the size of London to shut the roads for a whole day twice on successive weekends. You can imagine the logistics involved in what that does to the traffic system. And okay, it's a Sunday, it's a weekend, it's helpful in that regard, but to do it just for one Sunday and have the men's and women's race back to back earned us enormous favour with the city, and frankly it saves a lot of money as well. Secondly, however, as opposed to a big city marathon where you might have 30 or 40,000 members of the public running 26 miles with an elite race at the front, as you know, the marathon field is relatively small, certainly a lot less than 40,000. Yes, we put it on a loop, but for a spectator opportunity, just for one men's race or one women's race, there isn't that much to see over the course of 2.5 hours. But if you can put them on back to back, we can create a sort of celebration of marathons, which I think the public will really respond to. We're going to get bigger crowds on the street as a result. We're doing exactly the same with the race walks. For the first time, all 3 race walks are on the same day. And yeah, we worked very hard with the IAAF for them to work through the logistical issues associated with that. Obviously, it denies a male walker a chance to double up in the 50 and the 20, or now a female walker in the 50 and the 20. But the general feeling was it would be better for the walks to showcase them as a particular strand of athletics and make more of them. So I hope, as a result of this, one big day of marathons, one big day of race walks, that we give a much better platform for those marathon runners and race walkers to show their best in front of a great crowd. But also logistically, as I said, it has huge advantages in a city the size of London with such a complex traffic network.
I just want to add that I'm very grateful to the team at the LSC, to Ed and Niels, of course, and their team, Cherry, for help working with us to organize this. But I'm also grateful to TBS, our big broadcast partner in Japan, who work with us to really work together on figuring out what worked for the fans at home back in Japan. And they have been very accommodating, and I think it's going to be a brilliant event that will have lots of people, as Ed just mentioned, along the path of both the marathon and the race walk, but also lots of people all around the world watching. So I'm quite excited about this.
Yes, you put your hand up, then they can catch you with the microphone. Yep.
Question to Seb Coe. You touched a bit on it, but why would you say, what has London got other cities haven't got to have the big Olympics and the great Olympics and stage great games, hopefully again now? And the other question is, we all assume Usain Bolt is going to win the 100 meters somehow. Is there a deal in the background that he lets the 200 go, so he gets the 100, someone else gets the 200?
I think anybody that knows Usain Bolt knows that that's probably not a deal that would stick for very long. What has London got? Well, I'm probably not going to be a particularly reliable witness, because I was born in this city and like Ed, spent a lot of my time in this city. It's a wonderful place. It's multicultural, it's diverse, it's creative, it's got cultural fluencies that so many cities would love. And it's a magnet for young people. It was really interesting when we were bidding. We did a small piece of research around the other cities that we were standing against. And if you simply posed a question to young people between the ages of 18 and 22 and said to them, if you're not going to, in the cities that we were campaigning against, if you are going to have a higher education component beyond your country, or you want to take your first steps in a career outside of your country, where would you go? Nearly 90% said London. And we were bidding against cities like New York and Paris. So I think London has everything. But of course, we do have a deep strain of understanding for track and field here. It's a city that has seen some of the, sadly, we've never really had the facilities to showcase our sport at championship level. That, well, rarely actually. So the Olympic Stadium is a very important part of that. But, if you think about some of the performances that British athletics fans have witnessed in this city, going back years to White City, the golden years of Crystal Palace, this is a city that has always embraced athletics.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you all, I hope, over the next 10 days. Oh, sorry, your other question was? Oh, God. Well, I thought you
No, I'm not aware of any deal, but then again, I probably wouldn't be.
And I'm sorry, I know a lot of you want to get hold of Seb for interviews. We will sort that out over the next couple of days, so thank you for your patience. It's been a long couple of days. Thank you, bye.